YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy, Chris Jack, the Canvas Nomad. Now, past couple of days, I've been talking about like freedom and the different sides and illusions and stuff like that. But mainly, I like to say and bring it back to travel that I did because especially for these long, like it's just a clean slate of like I feel more alive than ever. Like not just starting over because anything from your past is still gonna, be in your head mentally. If you're on social media, you're still connected to the people that you know, which are all good things. You should never disconnect. But at the same time, you get to start on a clean slate. And I personally do believe that sometimes the best way to grow is to get out of your environment. You got to get out of your environment. You got to find a new environment. Let me put this backward. You got to find a new environment, and you got to find something that really, like a place where you belong. Like, listen, home is always going to be home, but it's also where the heart is. And if you don't feel where you live now or where you are now is not right for you, I'm telling you, sometimes the best things is to relocate. That's why people call it recharge vacations, where they go somewhere they've never been or they go somewhere they love and they just stay there for a week to recharge, to deal with their life when they come back. But sometimes for you to reach your best potential, you got to go somewhere that you've never been and try to thrive there. And the main reason is because, I'll be honest with you, the people that are going to support you, unless you're young and you still have that fire, or you still have the excuse of an age where it's like you can take more risks, people will be more prone to follow your journey when you start young. But in your older years, people are not going to appreciate you the way, not that they should, but they're not going to appreciate you. They're not gonna, support you the way that probably you would expect them to, maybe the way you would. But at the same time, sometimes people will be doing a business that you yourself, you don't mean to not support them, but you're just not interested in it. So you can't not expect other people to do the same. And it's crazy because your boys, your family, people that know you the closest are gonna be your biggest distractors when you're trying to change yourself, because it's like, oh, he thinks he's better now, or she thinks she's not one of us anymore. It's gonna be a lot, and you're gonna get most of your discouragement from the people that is the closest to you. Your best supporters are gonna be people that don't know you. The best ways to avoid distraction is to be outside of the places where you built that habit for that distraction in the first place. For example, if you in the hood, you be on the corner, y'all go out every weekend, y'all drinking, y'all smoking, you're doing the same thing, but that's because you're boys, you just want to hang out. But later on in life, you're still doing the same thing you was a kid. Nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you ain't getting nowhere. Whereas if you go somewhere else, you don't know anybody. So you have no choice but to be a bit more introspective and kind of decide, hey, so what am I gonna do? Your juices start flowing. Your thoughts start thinking. You don't have people around you telling you, yo, we going here, or don't do that. Know what I mean? Or it's not like they would say don't do that, but it's more or less like, oh, you back on that again? It's almost like a negative, it's like a negative habit that they have, just to be like, yo, man, come on, just stop that nonsense and let's just go out. Then you got your family who's not gonna understand where you are mentally. If they're older in your family, like a mom, dad, aunt, uncle, whatever, They're thinking about life from when they were your age, except life isn't the same way when they were your age. So you have to adapt to the times. You have to change. They don't see it that way because how they did it to get to where they are worked for them. So they're gonna tell you what they did when they were young. That ain't gonna work. Maybe some of the core principles might, but for the most part, it's not gonna work. And then if you have people around your age, especially if one is succeeding using their example, they're gonna tell you those things as well. But sometimes you just gotta do you. Your journey, no matter how long it takes, it's gonna be a different one than anybody else. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you different in the world. That's what makes you you, you know? You gotta sit there and understand that you can't compare someone's outsides to your insides. You can't do that. You cannot do that. Your day one, somebody else's day 36 is gonna be your day one. But you looking at them like they ain't go through 36 days of what you're trying to do now. You can't do that. And again, all of that comes with your environment. You ever heard you are the product of your environment? Well, if you change your environment, then you change your outlook on how things are done. Therefore, you're gonna naturally not have all of those negative limiting beliefs on you because you know you're starting new. You know you're starting fresh. You understand that it's completely new. And I understand not everybody can change their habit, their environment. Some people don't want to change their environment. But I'm telling you, the people that are going to support you, the things that are going to get you out of your rut are going to be new experiences, completely new experiences. This is why I'm such a huge advocate for travel. Get out. Go somewhere you've never been and do it by yourself. I think solo travel is one of the best teachers ever. It fast forwards everything. You learn so much that school, so much that just the school of hard knocks can't teach you. But if you want to go the school of hard knocks route, I'm telling you right now, go travel and you will take advanced courses in the school of hard knocks. It's just that simple. So I definitely think changing your environment, change the moods, change the tempo of things, it just really refreshes you. But most importantly, it gets you away from the discouragement you're going to get from the people around you. Now, I'd argue that they're not necessarily a friend if they're trying to literally tell you not to do something. But you in your heart can tell when someone is tiptoeing around saying that to you. And they will likely, I don't know, they'll tell you different things like, you know, if you think you can do it, go ahead. That's like a backhanded, I wouldn't say compliment, but backhanded advice. They don't think you can do it, so they're not gonna say that. But they don't want to seem wrong or discouraging in a way. So if you think you can do it, then go ahead. You know what I mean? It's like, well, you know, and they also are going from their experience. They haven't done it, so they're gonna apply a little bit of that into you. And they're gonna apply their limiting belief in the advice they want to give you. But when you're new, when you're away, when you're someone, you're an implant somewhere else, I'm telling you, you only have up to go. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how you got there. I don't care what you came with. You only have up to go when you're in a new spot. When you're in a place that you have nothing about. You know nothing about. You're literally completely fresh. And I believe that YouTube is one of those goals that can get you there. Because even having a business, if you're not adapting to the way the modern technology is moving, you're stuck to your location. If you are working a job, you're definitely stuck to your location because the person that gives you your check is in control of your life. Yeah, you control what you do with the check, but that check is your ceiling. You know what I mean? YouTube, there's no ceiling. Sky's the limit. And if you have an online business, same thing. In fact, I feel like you should have it. If you have an online business, you should also have a YouTube channel. So, and just seeing it, I don't care if you're a realtor. I used to be in the real estate game. Most of the top realtors usually have a YouTube channel. I don't care if you're in sanitation. Sanitation company I worked for, their rival had a YouTube channel, and most of their clients went over there because they had commercials. And the one that I worked for had commercials on TV, but they weren't on the internet. So in the beginning, they were leading the way. But now the internet has come modern day TV. So now their competitors were the ones winning. You just got to adapt. You just got to adapt. And you can do that by going to another place, clearing your mind, starting fresh. It's really important that people do that. I think personally, because a lot of times people will carry regrets. People will carry mistakes they've made in the past. People will carry things that they shouldn't even be dragging so far into the future. I know this, I've done it. I've done it. You just live with something and you consistently go back to a thought or a decision you made or a mistake. And you're like, damn. And every now and again, it'll just come up. And you're like, damn. And the place that you are will remind you of those things that you've done. And maybe that alone will stop you from propelling yourself to the next future. I'm telling you, I don't feel more alive than ever than when I'm away. There's nothing that stops that at all. So I really do believe that is when I say you want your mental freedom. Freedom from all the constructs of society that is holding you down. Because when you're in a new society, you don't know the constructs there. You don't know the trends. You don't know the thing. And don't get me wrong, as we globalize this world, the internet has a larger part to play with, I guess you could say, in a way, consolidation. But basically just shaping the way that everybody thinks. Because as soon as a post goes viral, most people are seeing it. Sometimes posts aren't just to your region or to your nation. Sometimes it's global. And then that right there is going to influence the decision, which is what I talked about when it comes to free will or determinism. Everyone's going to be shaped in some way. But you just now have to find your way to reduce all of those limiting influences and shape it to your benefit. And when you get out of your element, when you leave your comfort zone, when you literally try to restructure your life, I think location should be part of that. Because all distractions, all temptations, all comforts will be gone. And you have no choice but to start new. Have no choice. So that's just what I want to say today. And I know I'm going to work towards that. And it's just something that I'm just telling you my journey. I'm telling you my story. I'm telling you my experience. Because, shoot, I remember climbing one of the mountains in Vietnam. And it was just like I didn't care about what was going on anywhere else but getting to the top. We got a hill right here, Staten Island. It isn't really a mountain. But climbing up that, I'm seeing certain things like, oh, I remember when I did that. And now everything else is pouring into my head because the memories are filling in from things I've done in the past. Not necessarily bad things. A lot of them were good, But still, the past is coming into that. And you should never really take the past into the future. You should let it, it's going to shape who you are today. But you have tomorrow to build from today. And that's the most important thing. You have tomorrow to build. There's always a future. You could always, and every day is a new start. But it doesn't feel like that when the environment that you're in is literally keeping you there. And I'm not saying that works for everybody. I'm not saying that that's how everybody is. But I will say, for those that feel a little bit lost, like they don't belong, or they're just not where they feel like their potential should be, I'm telling you, you will find potential somewhere else. But all right, y'all. It's your boy Chris J, Canvas Nomad. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you made it this far in the video, you, my friend, are appreciated. Peace. My man.